Hi, everybody. My name is Paula Pater-Licht, and I am the Director of Community Building and Impact at United Way of Dubuque Area Tri-State. Thank you so much for joining me today for the training for the Volunteer Investment Review Panel. And the training should last about 20 to 25 minutes today. And feel free to stop, pause, rewind, anything you need. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see my PowerPoint and less of me, hopefully. And we'll go through what were our discussion points today. Our agenda for today is an overview of the United Way of Dubuque Area Tri-State. We're going to talk about the role of Volunteer Investment Review Panel, which is you, and we're going to talk about the application review and scoring. Through this process, please know that there are staff and other community members willing to assist you if you have any questions. Do not hesitate to reach out to myself or to Danielle. The mission at United Way of Dubuque Area Tri-State is to connect people and resources to advance the health, education, and income of those in need in our community. Need can be defined in multiple ways. For the purpose of this application review, the need is defined via the grant criteria, which we'll be covering later. United Way has been around since the late 1800s. Specifically, United Way of Dubuque Area Tri-States started in 1928, which means that we've been around for over 90 years. We evolved to adapt to the ever-changing needs. Historically, United Way has traditionally only funded a limited number of nonprofits. In 2014, our local United Way began its exciting transition to community impact. Now, with that transition complete, a team of volunteers, you, have been created as a part of a series of systems set up to screen, monitor, and invest in quality programs, making a difference where our community needs it most. Every 2 years, any nonprofit can apply for grant funding for their specific programs and demonstrate the outcomes that they will create should they receive funding. It's a fully competitive process, which is why we need and are so grateful for each of you. This last year, we were able to give out over $850,000 in grants to the nonprofits in our area under the impact areas of health, education, and income. Additionally, volunteer hours that were logged through our Get Connected portal, which is a place that those seeking volunteer opportunities can sign up, and agencies who have volunteer opportunities can create those, and they can get connected in that way. But those hours equated to a value of over $123,000 worth of services to our local nonprofits. Additionally, people in our community saved over $65,000 in prescription costs through our prescription partnership program with Family Wise. This totals an impact of over $1 million to our community. In our 10-county service region, which covers Alameda, Clayton, Delaware, Dubuque, Fayette, and Jackson County in Iowa, Carroll and Joe Davies in Illinois, and Grant and Lafayette counties in Wisconsin, our funded partners were able to impact over 42,000 lives. I think United Way is most known for our fundraising efforts. Everybody hears about United Way campaigns and the fundraising, and that is a very large part about what we do. Traditionally, workplace campaigns where we go into workplaces and share about the work that we do and request support in return. We also do residential appeals. We have our main event called Over the Edge, which is another fundraiser for our community impact. That is where the fun goes. So many people don't really understand the community impact section of United Way. This is where we invest the funds that have been raised and put them into programs to measure impact and progress towards goals. And one of the other components of United Way is volunteerism. We engage donors, we improve lives, and strengthen the community through volunteerism. Community impact is interconnectedness of all three areas: education, health, and income or financial stability, in changing the community at large. Specific community changes in one area will ultimately affect all three areas. This is why we need to focus on a community level issue. These are not individual level But what are we doing to change the issue as a whole? What is the solution to the larger issue at hand? We'll cover the 3 impact areas that United Way focuses on, the first of which is health. Our communities deserve to be healthy, safe, and strong. Everyone has access to physical and mental health care. Everyone learns strategies to live a healthy lifestyle that supports their mental and behavioral health. Everyone engages in healthy eating and physical activity. And victims of violence have access to services. Issues in our community are supported by the funded programs in this pillar that cover issues like brain health, food scarcity, violence prevention, bullying, and a myriad of other issues. Impact area education. A good education is the foundation for a successful life. Youth have access to a wide range of mentoring options. Elementary and middle school students are prepared to succeed in later grades. Young adults transition to post-secondary education to the workforce or public service. And children and adults with disabilities are enabled to achieve their highest quality of life. Our funded partners do this through school readiness, post-secondary work, or readiness for the workforce, life skills training, mentoring relationships, and so many more. Impact area, income, and financial stability. Every citizen deserves to feel financially stable. Everyone has their basic needs met. Everyone has access to stable housing options, and everyone has access to services and learned skills to achieve financial stability and independence. Our funded partners focus on homelessness, financial literacy, basic needs, childcare, and so much more. Role of the Volunteer Investment Review Panel. That's you. The Investment Review Panel is made up of 19 volunteers from over 15 different organizations. You represent a wide range of professions: education, health, social services, business, and industry. You are passionate people dedicated to volunteering to help determine the best allocation of resources based on community need. Volunteers are encouraged to support United Way's mission in various ways, such as participating in our campaign, volunteering, and advocating in support of United Way. If you are not part of a workplace campaign, we encourage you to pick up that cell phone, use the camera, and scan the QR code below, and that will take you to our donate section of our website and get you more information on how to give back. Throughout this process, please note that there are staff and other members who are willing to help and support you if you have questions. Don't hesitate to contact us. It is extremely important to know about the conflict of interest and confidentiality policies. It is the policy of United Way of Dubuque Area Tri-States to conduct the grant review process free from influence of conflicts of interest. This policy sets forth the process for avoiding potential conflicts of interest and provides guidance to Community Impact Committee and Grant Review Panel members related to their expected standard of conduct in the performance of their duties and functions. Included in the email I will have sent you, this document should be in there. We do ask that you complete the conflict of interest form. If you have any employment, business, professional activities, if you are on any board of directors that may potentially conflict with the evaluations that you're participating in, family members or vested interest in any organization, please list that on that form. Additionally, confidentiality is of the utmost importance. Information and documents shared during this training and all topics, agency information, and application details are meant to be completely confidential. As a member of the review panel, you are asked to carefully and thoughtfully complete the following. Familiarize yourself with United Way mission and funding criteria. Did that already. Review grant software and manual, which will be coming up. I've also included a copy of the EC Impact Manual with the email that I have sent. And review, rate, and score assigned applications. Other tasks or points to remember. Each pillar team, health, Education and Income will have 2 leads who serve on the allocation committee. They will relay comments and input from the group pillar to that committee to make decisions. Scoring sessions will happen in March. Allocation committee meets in April and will help determine recommendations for funding amounts based on available funds. Funding recommendations will then be taken to the Community Impact Committee of the board, Finance Committee of the board, and then to the full board of directors for final approval. Some additional resources. We wanted to give you some information about ALICE. ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Yet Employed. ALICE families are those that have earnings above the federal poverty line but are unable to meet survival budget. In our area, 27% of households are ALICE households. Through our funded partner network, we serve over 42,000 people in the tri-state annually. Many of those served are ALICE families. These represent vulnerable populations who face many barriers to getting food, shelter, childcare, and more. To get a better understanding of the tough choices many families have to make, we encourage you to again pick up your phone, use your camera, and scan this QR code to learn more about ALICE or participate in the tough challenges, simulated activity to get a better understanding of what the recipients of our services are actually going through. 2020-2022 program grant mid-year renewal and scoring instructions. So this time around, you will be evaluating the mid-year and renewal. So it is what the funded partners have done from June 1, 2020 to November 30th, 2020. That will give you a snapshot of what they have done the first part of this funding year. This will also define the funding amounts for the second year of services. Here is a software link. It will also be included in the email that you have received for the EC Impact software system. Please sign on to the software and check your access as soon as you can. If there are any issues, please reach out to me and we'll get them taken care of as soon as we can. So data thus far, the funded partners have submitted their reports, and this is just a little bit of the information that I have taken from what they have reported. So far, in those first 6 months of service, they have served over 36,000 people in the tri-state area. Of that 36,000, 94% came from Dubuque County. You can see the other areas, the other counties, primarily were Delaware County, Joe Daviess County, and then a large population who were unknown. Additional information about race: 33% of the people served were Caucasian, 21% of the people served identified as African American, Asian, Native American, Pacific Islander, multiracial, and other equated to 1% or less, respectively. And then 44% of the people served were unknown in race. Additionally, we asked about ethnicity of people receiving services, and 1% identified as Hispanic or Latino or Latina, and 19% identified as non-Hispanic or Latina, Latino, 80% were unknown. Evaluation and scoring. So bear with me, this section gets a little long. I have also included a copy of this document in the email, but we'll go ahead and read through each of the 4 sections. Number 1 is the program progress and goals and additional comments. A total of 10 points can be awarded here. If any changes have been made, barriers encountered, were they handled appropriately? Are partnerships and collaborations clearly outlined? So a good score, anywhere from 8 to 10, changes and barriers defined and handled appropriately, or no changes or barriers. A fair score, from 7 to 4, changes and barriers were somewhat defined and handled as needed. Program partnerships and collaborations are suggested, but maybe not clearly defined. And then a weak or poor score of 3 or below, changes and barriers minimally defined, have not been fixed. No program partnerships or collaborations are discussed. Inputs, outputs, outcomes, total of 10 points. Are they showing progress and outputs and outcomes. A good score, anywhere between 10 and 8. Outputs and outcomes are on track. A fair score, between 7 and 4. Outputs and outcomes are behind, and adequate information describes why. Weak or poor, 3 and below. Outputs and outcomes are not on track, and no additional information is provided. Section 3, forgive me, I know this is a lot of words on the slide, but program budget, project review, and projected expenses, a total of 15 points. This is our largest section. Is budget detailed and clearly shows work outline. 5 points is a good score. Budget is detailed, complete, clearly supports the work outlined. Revenue and expenses seem reasonable. Fair, 3 to 4 points. Adequate budget information appears to somewhat support the work outlined. Weak, 4, 2 and below. The program budget is vague and or incomplete. It is unclear how it supports the work outlined. How will they deal with program if not fully funded, and are there sources of funding? Good score, between 10 and 8. The applicant has specifically addressed how the variations of funding would impact the program and have specific and concrete funding sources beyond United Way. Fair score of 7 to 4. Applicant has somewhat addressed how the variations of the funding would impact the program and minimal additional funding sources other than United Way. And lastly, a weak or poor score of 3 and below. Applicant has not addressed how the variations of the funding would impact the program. And the last section is the success story, 1 point if it is attached. There's also a section for overall general comments. It is limited to 1,000 characters, but your comments help us make informed decisions. Please feel free to put comments in there. Please also know that your comments will be passed on to the funded partners in aggregate form. Before we close, I do want to show you this video about our funded partners. We ask them to help us create this video to really show what it means to live united. And so I wanted to close with this to show the impact that the work that you are doing as an investment review panelist is really shaping and impact the work our funded partners are doing, and by that, our community as a whole. So I will go ahead and play that.
I live united for a kinder world. I live united for the kids. And I live united connecting people to their life destinations. I live united for mentoring youth. I live united for ending domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and homelessness. I live united for individuals with disabilities.
I live united for those in poverty.
I live united for those with hunger.
I live united for hope, dignity, and justice in our community. I live united for brain health for kids.
I live united for survivors of sexual assault and abuse.
And I live united for homeless women and children.
I live united for helping high school students explore their futures. I live united for building resiliency in our kids and families.
I live united to stamp out hunger and for people to live a sustainable life.
I live united for health equity for all. I live united for youth to thrive.
I live united for the safety of children.
I live united for everyone to take care of their brain health.
So that video gets me every time because I was a funded partner and I know the importance and the impact that these funds have on the lives of those that they serve. So I am eternally grateful for your support and the work that you do on this committee. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Danielle. We are both here, ready and willing to help you with any questions or struggles you may encounter. Our email addresses are listed here along with our phone number and our extension numbers. And lastly, a huge thank you from all of us at United Way. We truly could not do it without you. So with that being said, I wanted to say thank you one last time for watching this video, for agreeing to be part of the panel, for those of you who have agreed to be part of the allocation committee, and for all the work that you do to help our support our nonprofit community and the tri-state area. Thank you so much, and I hope someday that we can meet in person. Thank you so much.